Hey, what up, world? We're gonna be going here on Mr. Colin Coward's show on FS1 Sports, The Herd, as well as Chris Broussard is going to be featured as a guest host here, covering for a couple minutes. Listen, the topic for discussion is going to be LeBron's legacy, about this potential title he can gain, as well as lose, as we've seen in the finals from kind of time to time. No shade on that, but as well as talking kind of more on Zion, Avery Bradley. We'll see if we'll get more in that conversation. Listen, I've stated in a couple videos, and I'm still going to have the premise that listen, LeBron's under the most pressure to win this championship. If you're going to consider LeBron, let alone the GOAT or in the GOAT conversation, as well as being Mount Rushmore top five all time, LeBron has to win this championship, especially 17 seasons in the NBA, being 35 years of age, second season on the Lakers, and this is Anthony Davis' contract year, as well as the Brooklyn Nets and the Warriors are hurt and not in the picture for this year. Yeah, you got to go for it. And listen, LeBron's had 4 to 5 months of rest. It's going to be. He's going to resume back in Orlando, healthy, physically for his body, and then mentally prepared. So we don't know how the roster is going to shape for all these teams, how things are going to progress. But if everything's the way it is, play 8 games in Orlando, as well as just jump into the playoffs, in that bubble playoffs form they do have. Listen, I have the Lakers to win the championship. I think it's in the NBA's best interest and LeBron's legacy that this lines up. I mean, if you have him losing this season and you have the Warriors and the Nets come back next season, I don't see the Lakers at all obtaining any other big free agents, trades, or anything that can justify another championship, let alone the one right here. So as of right now, I got LeBron and the Lakers. I'm sticking with them, especially after, I'm skeptical about J.R. Smith's signing, but I'm still going to roll with my prediction here. See how things tighten up. But yeah, this is a huge, this is a huge title for LeBron. Then again, there's a big reward and big risk as well.
Get
so
it?
Let's see what
it's
these guys
awesome.
have to say here, and I'll
but it doesn't make the Lakers better. You know what I mean?
No.
So I think publicly we're all going to say the right thing, right? But do you think if you were a star player and somebody bailed, that there may be a little chasm here, a little bit of, come on, man, this is tough for all of us going on in the league?
Well, listen, with Avery Bradley and his situation, it was allegedly with his son, so that's understandable. It does lose the momentum and juice and the kind of the chemistry the team had together, they were very tight. I think J.R. Smith coming in, I don't think it's the best move for chemistry, but he does have championship experience, so I think that the guys will let it slide because he'll pretty much play a similar role to Avery Bradley, but not with the ball handling. But especially if they lose Dwight Howard, because Dwight Howard's been in talks of potentially missing and not resuming the season. I expect him to, but if he doesn't, then that's really going to take the Lakers out to where they're going to be lost at a starting five, a backup starting five behind JaVale McGee. And within that, there's not that many centers out there, effective-wise. I mean, you have a bunch of older cats like Andrew Bogut, Marcin Gortat, Salah Mejri. I mean, there's really no one you can pick. I mean, Kenneth Faried, but he is undersized at 6'8". So the Lakers right now, they should be biting their nails, especially if Dwight Howard doesn't return. But you can't blame Avery Bradley. I still think LeBron and the team, they're pretty much 10 deep as well. So
well, look, the fact that Avery Bradley is not playing because of family issues, that's a little bit different. And I think you got to be pretty cold and callous to question a guy when his son has a respiratory illness, and that's the reason he's not playing. So that said, I do think it just depends on the star, Colin. Like we saw, just Kevin Durant said he may not have played, and I get it. It's easy to say when you're injured. Kyrie Irving saying he would not have played as well. But so those are guys, though, that understand the hesitation, the apprehension that certain guys have in playing. And I don't think they're the only stars. I believe there are other stars who are playing, but who are a bit hesitant and who are a bit concerned. And I think a star like that would understand an Avery Bradley situation. With LeBron James, he's never questioned whether or not he was going to play, and he's in a different place in his career. For LeBron, I don't think it's his last chance to win a championship, but it is one of his last chances to win it, whereas virtually all of the other superstars are younger and have other opportunities where they can win it. So with a guy.
Yeah, with LeBron in 2013 and 2016, the Spurs, the way they played as well as the Warriors, they should have won it. But LeBron pretty much has this way of his game plan. He plays his own system, but he pretty much willed himself to win those games, as well as got help from all of his role players to win those championships. And that's something you'll see with LeBron. He's 3-6 in the finals. He's not very consistent, but whenever it comes to a big pressuring point of LeBron has to win this year, he pretty much will get it done. In 2013, he had to get it done. If he didn't, he would have been 1-2 in the finals with the super team Miami Heat. And then back in 2016, if LeBron would have lost those finals, he would have lost 3 finals in a row. He would have been around 2-5 in the finals, and the Warriors would have taken over a dynasty and pretty much taken over. Steph Curry would have taken unanimously would have taken the crown over LeBron with that championship. But hey, LeBron and the crew, they get it done whenever it comes to it. I think we're in a similar situation in 2020. LeBron hasn't, sniffed the championship in 4 seasons. I think, again, with the Nets and the Warriors out, and with this whole situation going on with the coronavirus, I just think everything lines up for LeBron and the Lakers. More of a willful. I know the Clippers have the better roster, the role players, depth, and coaching. But I just think whenever it comes to a close Game 6, Game 7, LeBron usually knows how to crank it up, beast mode, and just get it done.
And I don't know how he feels about it, but you do wonder if, clearly it's a hit to the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be tough for them to overcome.
Yeah, and listen, I'm sure publicly a lot of people say stuff publicly, and I'm sure LeBron does support his teammate. But let's be honest about this. This morning, the Clippers now are better than the Lakers. We thought they were better before, and I don't think this helps the team, right? He's a veteran. He's smart. He's LeBron's kind of dependable two-way player.
Yep.
They're not the same team this morning.
I think the Clippers and Lakers in the playoffs, it's going to be an ugly series. Entertaining, though, but it's going to go – I think a lot of the games are going to be either determined by 3 to 7 points, a couple overtime games. And within so, I think the Lakers will squeak it out in 7. It's not going to be pretty when it comes to it.
And I picked the Clippers,
if you're a Clippers fan, you should be
early in the
really
season to win it all. And the reason there were 2 main things: their depth and their dog. Meaning, I think they're hungrier. I think up and down the roster, they've got more dogs in their lineup than the Lakers do. Well, one of those dogs was Avery Bradley.
Yeah,
he's a guy that's mentally tough, that plays, as you said, both ends. One of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and a 3-and-D guy. Remember, the one time this year in 3 games that they beat the Clippers, Avery Bradley hit 6 threes, scored 24 points. So this is big, and you look at that depth, and they're going to add J.R. Smith or whoever. They're not going to make up for what Avery Bradley gives them. So, look, is it impossible for the Lakers to overcome? No. They have 2 of the best 3 players in a series with the Clippers and LeBron and AD. But the depth difference has just widened. And then again, that dog difference, in my opinion, has widened.
Yeah, I'm watching some Avery. He's a two-way player. And a lot of guys in this league are not two-way players. And Avery's smart. He's a veteran. He's a two-way guy. We're not saying he shouldn't have done it. I'm just saying that, you understand now some of these stars, their windows are closing. Zion's fascinating to me because I said this yesterday. James Harden doesn't want to be the face of the league. Westbrook's not good with the media. Kawhi doesn't talk. Sometimes the best player, Tim Duncan or Kareem, is not the face of the league. I think if LeBron retired tomorrow, for the next 7 years, I think Zion's going to be the face of the league. He's averaging 24 points, 8 rebounds, 59% shooting is a baby.
Zion's not there. You got to give him around, I would say 2 to 3 seasons. I think he could be electric like a young LeBron James. I don't think as impactful as winning. I think, LeBron's on another level when it comes to Zion when he was younger. But Zion does have impact. If LeBron were to retire this season, which is not going to happen, But let's just say, hypothetically, like Mr. Cowherd is kind of running here, if LeBron were to retire, the face of the league would be, it's either Kawhi or Giannis, because whoever wins the championship would either be those two if it's not the Lakers. If Kawhi wins the championship, he's going to be the face of the league. Well, the best player, maybe not the face of the league because people don't really like to relate to him and he's really quiet, but people will know he'd be the best player. Giannis, they don't really like to go in a direction to where you haven't been born in, this area. If you're kind of, from another country or anything, we don't really see that with the NBA. I mean, Akeem at the time, whenever Michael Jordan retired for, a quick stint. But it would probably be Giannis who would dominate, who would rack up MVPs, finals appearances, maybe a championship or two. But yeah, I don't really think about Zion. You have to give him a couple years. But when it comes to all this different stars in the game, Zion would be the face of the league. People look at it definitely around 3 to 4 seasons, and you would have Luka Doncic and Trae Young fighting for it. But I think Luka can kind of replicate that Steph Curry Golden Boy flow with the Mavericks. So who knows? But I know in a couple of seasons, really keep an eye out on Zion, Luka. I don't really think Trae Young because of the team success. But as of right now, you have
what
to
do you
always
make
keep in
of this
Kawhi and Giannis.
bubble for him? Is he reportedly he's in good shape?
Yeah, and that's great because with young guys, especially guys that if they eat the wrong thing, their bodies can blow up. You wonder how will they handle the 3-4 months away. I wondered it with Joel Embiid, and it looks like he's in pretty good shape, but that's another guy you wondered about. So if Zion comes back in shape, that speaks to not only how he is physically, but mentally where he's at, a maturity, a responsibility that he has to take care of his body. So I like that. Face of the league, look, there's no doubt that he will be one of them. The question will be how much winning he can do. And he's in that honeymoon phase where the winning isn't a big deal. But I do think, Colin, he's got to improve in the rebounding. You upped him a notch when you said 8. He's out in the rebounding. You upped him a notch when you said 8. He's out.
All right, real quickly with Mr. Broussard, I'll let him continue. Listen, the Pelicans have a recipe for success in the next 2 to 5 seasons at least. Well, not at least. Listen, next season I expect them to fully make the playoffs, and Zion's going to take off as an all-star. I think he needs to work on his ball handling. I think he's undersized as a 4, being around 6'7", 6'8". I think if he moves, pretty much if he works on his ball handling, moves over to a 3 slot, he can be able to work on his ball handling, be more of a slasher. His J's there whenever it's a spot-up shoot, but whenever it comes to him creating his own, shot off the dribble, that's something he'll need to work on if he wants to add that to his game. I think he should really consider and work into that. Besides from that, but with the Pelicans, listen, they're going to be fighting with the Dallas Mavericks in the next 4 to 5 seasons, to the conference finals, let alone to get to the finals. Those are the two teams in the West that have an amazing, future ahead with Luka Doncic and KP. Then you have Zion, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo, and who else knows? Because both teams are going to have cap space. But let alone, Zion does have potential to be the face of the league. I'm unsure of it as of right now. We've seen the crazy impact he's had, but he plays more of a, he's a building block, but he's a 4. He doesn't really have the ball in his hands to create his own shots. So that's something that's a little different because he likes to play off the ball. I'm not saying he doesn't have the impact. He does. But usually superstars we've seen this day and age in the past, they would, pretty much 90% of the time have the ball in their hands, either off the dribble creating or as well as being the post and create moves. But Zion's kind of in that mix. I definitely believe he's going to be able to grow his game. I think with either when it comes to rebounds as well as creating your own shots and as well as ball handling. But hey, I mean, the cat's only around 20 years of age.
Averaging, I think, a tad below 7. But I'll give you that because I know you like the kid. But I got to see a little better rebounding and defense. And I'm not holding it against him as a youngster that doesn't defend. Very few youngsters enter the NBA defending, especially ones that are great offensively. LeBron wasn't much of a defender early in his career. So I think Zion will improve. He's in the right situation as far as his teammates. Lonzo Ball's almost a perfect point guard for him. Drew Holiday's a veteran. So he's in a good situation.
Man, I think the Pelicans need to trade Drew Holiday. I've said this from last season, but I really expect this offseason they'll pretty much want to move off with his expiring contract. He's around 31 years of age as an off guard to Lonzo.
It would be
I think he's better off to
phenomenal
where
if they
they'll pretty
could
much
make
move
the
him.
playoffs. And that's going to be a tough chore because they're 3.5 games back with 8 to play. But if they could, that would be a great step in the right direction. And then next year, the goal becomes not just get to the playoffs, but actually begin to make a little noise once you get there.
Finally, let's say LeBron wins it. And I've said this before. If LeBron wins as a Laker, as a Cav, and as a Miami Heat, that Jordan documentary is going to lose some of its zip.
No. Michael Jordan will still be the GOAT, undoubt about it. You're going to have a bunch of younger cats and LeBron fans to be proclaiming LeBron's the GOAT. Listen, LeBron's not going to catch him with 6 rings. If he does 3-peat with the Lakers, that would have to shock me. I would have to see it to believe it. I don't know how that would work if you have the Nets, Clippers, Warriors, and all these teams up in the mix. Especially we can see this pretty much looks like the last dance for LeBron for winning a championship. But that is very impactful. LeBron could go to your franchise, can elevate the franchise to a winning state of mind. I know it usually comes with chaos, stress, and a lot of players hating you. Usually when it comes down later in the season, coaches getting fired. But LeBron can pull it through at least once or twice in 4 seasons for a franchise. So, it is what it is when it comes to LeBron. He can be kind of feminine and narcissist. Not really. He doesn't have that masculine, energy as well as leadership. He pretty much kind of like to blame everyone else, and you have to my way or the highway. But that's another conversation, more deeper for another day. But with LeBron James, again, I've said this, if he wins this championship, very impressive, 3 different franchises, even though he won't reach 6 rings in quantity, but quality will be stated for his 3rd and 4th ring. And winning for 3 different franchises, that's very impactful being a star player. And he pretty much is changing the game up. You have Bird, Magic, MJ. They were on one team winning chips for their season or for their career. And LeBron pretty much knew, let me change it up, play fantasy basketball, and I could show my impact and goatish moments by joining other franchises. So I actually would have LeBron in the Mount Rushmore, hovering around the 3rd or 4th slot all time, especially if he does reach Kareem in 38,000 points or more. But that's another
let's just
3-4
pretend. Let's just say he wins
road.
it.
So let's see.
What's it do for his legacy?
LeBron.
It's huge.
Listen, I have LeBron number 5 all time. I have MJ, Bill Russell, Kareem, and Magic. He still needs to catch those cats. I don't think he's ever going to catch MJ. I think he can catch Magic by winning this championship. If he does win this championship, I'm putting LeBron in the Mount Rushmore, number 4 all time. The reason I don't have him Bill Russell or Kareem is yet because, listen, Bill Russell dominated 11 championships, 13 seasons. People claim there was plumbers. Listen, he waxed the Lakers with Jerry West and Will Chamberlain year after year. Bill Russell, whenever he retired, the Celtics were washed up. He had the impact. He would average 17 a game, but he was kind of like a combination of, he had that Kevin Garnett to him, another defensive big, not really like a Karl Malone, but very underrated whenever it comes to Bill Russell. And then with Kareem, 6 championships, him and Magic ran out the West, and he had a championship with Milwaukee, and he also had 6 regular season MVPs. So, Kareem, you have to really reach him. And plus he has 38,000 points all time, number 1 slot. So if LeBron can reach one more championship with the Lakers, another finals MVP, 38K, he's definitely going to, again, winning this championship, he's going to pass over Magic. And if he can get to 5 championships and reach over 38,000, I would pretty much, be fine.
There are several things. Number 1, he would now join Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as 2 of the top 3 players to make it to 10 NBA finals. I know he will have lost 6, but just to get to 10 NBA finals is phenomenal. The only player who will have led their team to more finals would be Bill Russell with 12. So that would be big. But here's the other thing, Colin. In this GOAT conversation and legacy talk, memorable moments and storylines are huge. We still remember what about Jordan? The shrug. Wow, I don't know what's going on. I'm hot from 3. I hit 7 threes in the first half against Portland. We remember those moments, And LeBron will have had two of the most memorable storybook finals championships in NBA history. Obviously, the one in Cleveland, where it was the first championship for the city.
Yeah, LeBron's going to have to base his championships not on quantity, but quality, emotions, and storyline. The Cavaliers 73-9 against the Warriors down 3-1. That really elevated LeBron. Then as well as when it comes to the Lakers, Kobe's death, having made the playoffs in 6 seasons, the Lakers were pretty much plummeted. LeBron came in as a quote-unquote savior. Came across in the coronavirus edition. They're going to throw out storylines like that. And it will be impressive if he takes down Giannis, who will be the regular season MVP. And, it's the 17th season, 35 years of age. They're going to throw down these stats. But it is impactful. I'm not going to lie.
52 years.
But, that's when LeBron's legacy
they came back from a 3-1 deficit. Only team ever to do that. They would have beat a 73-win team. He's at the most iconic block shot in NBA history. Throw in another finals against Golden State that he averaged a triple-double. And then this in the season. Remember what LeBron said shortly after the tragedy with Kobe Bryant. God gave me big shoulders for a reason. He was saying, I will carry us. We remember his speech of the game where he talked to the Lakers fans about Kobe. If he could deliver LA a championship in the year of Kobe's death, in the year of
Bingo. I'm not saying there's anything behind the scenes with like Messianic cults as well as the NBA foreshadowing and knowing different legacies and storylines that happen that's scripted or rigged. You can visit other like Gematria channels and stuff like that, more in depth. I just know there's always stuff behind the scenes. I just seen it. And I know you can look at the facts of the NBA. The facts would be, if I were to look, at the teams and everything, not look at the back scene, I'll be like, yeah, the Clippers and Bucks should be in the finals. But I just know everything's lined up for LeBron this year, especially whenever I saw the Kobe death.
That would
the writing was on the wall.
As memorable as any NBA finals out there. And he's already got another one that's arguably the most memorable. So I think it would be huge for LeBron's legacy and strengthen his argument in the GOAT talk for sure.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, basically overall, I think the writing's on the wall with the Lakers. I'm uncertain about, A.V. Bradley gone, J.R. Smith in, Dwight Howard may be gone, but I'm not worried about it. I know about the big picture. If I were you guys, I would definitely have the Lakers winning the championship this season.